Alrighty, we are live and not echo free, but here we go. So yeah, we're going to be playing the Veil today. I played a one session of a solo session of the Veil with Samuel G just a little while ago. And Samuel G, why don't you mute your? There you go. Let's see what that happens. Yeah, I think it's G, but anyhow. What we're going to be doing today is we really don't know all the rules. You can see Anthony laughing right there at me already, just throwing G under the bus. But we know the rules, but we just haven't really played this game yet. And so we're going to be referencing the book, if you will, quite a few times during the game. So it's going to seem a little clunky, but this is what you're supposed to do. There you go. Anthony has a beautiful copy of the Veil, while the rest of us are slumming it with PDFs. But this is what you're supposed to do when you start to play a new game and learn it. Is it'd be great to just play it completely without any kind of speed bumps or whatever, but that's not real life. So the best way to learn a game, outside of reading it and talking to each other about it, is then to start to play the game. And when you encounter a question, actual play, there you go. So that's it. That's my spiel. I'm done. So we're gonna start this thing off. And
all right. So I am the MC, and I will start it off. It is January. So in the Alps is what people call this is how people call the Appalachian Heights, which is this big regional urban area that goes from Montreal to New York City, approximately. And like the even if the ground has been covered mostly by industrial complexes and gigantic urban areas, where when you're at the really bottom, you don't even know if you're touching the ground of the earth, because there's so much concrete and levels and tunnels and aqueducts and wires underground and stuff that people haven't seen a tree in years. If you want to see a tree, you need to go into dangerous areas. It's been years and years that people haven't see anything natural out there. It's all concrete and metals and stuff like that. So and even the sky is really hard to see, because when people look up in the apps, all they see is just either air traffic, either smog, or just buildings and buildings that goes so high up on each other that you don't even know. Sometimes you're in the middle of the day and the lighting, even just the lighting, the simple lighting, is produced artificially, and there's this whole humming sound everywhere. This sound that has been so present for so much time that people don't even remember. People don't even notice it. The silence is a luxury in this kind of place. The overall smell is synthetic, artificial. It's been designed to produce and emulate some kind of attitude and behavior from the population on different kind of levels. People are trying to big corporation like SafeX, who's organizing the security and the good behaviors of the people living in these places are making sure that everybody's conditioned in the right way to try to produce a nice living, a nice quality of living. But still, humans are humans, or people are people, and what it creates is people get used to it. Creature of habits, and either way, in the different levels of this of the Appalachian Heights, we you get different kind of culture. The Appalachian Heights, the Alps, is especially in this region, is mostly divided in 9 sectors. So you have the sprawl divided in 3, and then you have the bourgeoisie divided in 3, and then you have the corporative level divided in 3. And our situation happens at level 1, right at the bottom of the sprawl, right at where the scum of the earth lives, where the worst of the worst happens every day. it's January, it's getting really cold, colder by the day, and the snow, even if it's covered, everything is covered with concrete and metals and synthetic structures, the snow is still there, meaning that we still have access to the sky somehow. And the snow is still water, and so it creates all kind of mud. Streets are covered with grayish mud mixed with anti-freezing products like salt and stuff. The news has been filled with these working class issues and riots that's been happening in between the third and the fourth level. A month ago, some workers has been going on strike against the bourgeoisie, I guess the corporates. But the bourgeoisie and the corporates send their guards and send the police, and so therefore it creates all kinds of riots, right before the bourgeoisie, on the third and the fourth level. But 1 month later, right now, it's being all over the sprawl. You have riots everywhere. Anonymous is the group of people that are the rebels that have been feeding off these worker strikes, and now they are using these strikes. Well, the media are telling you that they are using these strikes for as a means to an end to propagate anarchy beliefs and all kinds of extreme left ideologies. And now you are at the corner of 48th Street and 122 Avenue, and there's the Beelzebub nightclub. People in the neighborhood calls it the Bells. It's the place to go when you are in the Jersey district. On the other side of the street, there is a gigantic building that's been on construction for so long, but the thing is that the workers are on strike anyway, so they show up at work with the mechs and the gear and everything. But what they do is that they take away some pieces of the building, so they take away 3 pieces whenever they put 4. So that's the way that's the kind of the approach to it, and they designed it with a really, really rational and mathematical approach, where they work a certain time of hour a day, and then they stop and they deconstruct everything, so the building is not going anywhere. The corporate companies sends the police. Now they are on strike in the streets, and so the streets in front of the Bells is covered with riot. There's so many people. The demographic is so high that there is runtime for the strikes and the riots. So the riots runs every day, 24 hours a day. People have shift in the streets, and they are just streams and streams of people. They have parkour, like they go around certain neighborhood, they go around certain streets. It's like just a train of people walking, screaming and chanting and utilizing all kinds of speaker devices with their cyberware, just screaming stuff like, "We don't give a fuck, corporates are sick, we don't give a fuck, corporates are sick," and all kinds of stuff. And they are throwing Molotov cocktail and smoke bombs and all kinds of things. There is like holographic, there is nerds, really big ass nerds, guys that are in the middle of these riots, projecting holographic design over it to make them look like they are mean and everything, to afraid the cops. The cops are so right now in front of the Bells, there is a line of cops with the shields and the mechs and the shooters, and they are really they're right in front of the Bells, and they've been slowly going backwards as the crowd is way bigger and really aggressive that day. On the other side of the street, there is a street preacher that is there, that is climbed on the structure of the building, and usually he's on the street on the corner, but now he climbs himself up, and he's holding himself to the side of the construction building, and he's preaching the unified and the old and talking about gods, and he tries his voice to get over the scream of the crowd. So it's just a big mess of religious preaching on the other side of the street, worker class people shouting at the police, and the police repeating the same thing all over again. Stay calm, remain into places, circulate, stay calm. They just repeat the same thing all over again, and then they do. And after a couple cycle of repeating that, what they do is that they announce that they will shoot stuff, and then they do it, and then they repeat the cycle. And then they announce they will shoot stuff, then do it, they repeat the cycle. Mechanically, repeatedly, everybody knows the recipe, and it's just that happens all the time. So now you can introduce your character, tell us where you are in that situation and what's happening.
Oh.
Well, I work in probably the worst of all places then. Security guard for Watchful Eye. Cadmus Buchanan. And the end of my shift is coming. Soon I'm going to have to take off my body armor and walk out into that crowd to go home. Long day.
Alrighty. Well, and I guess it's my turn. I'm Tess. I'm Tess Morgan, and I'm an unusual girl. I'm not really real, but people generally don't know that because it's illegal to be artificial, or it's illegal to create an artificial being, even though there's plenty of augmentation, plenty of cyberware available. But I was standing on the street corner, which I believe is 48 and 122, but standing in front of the Bells, my usual spot. I'm looking across the street at Jorn, the street preacher, who I've become friendly with, smoking a Chesterfield. I'm dressed demurely. I'm not dressed like a prostitute. However, Tess has been designed to turn men's heads. So despite the fact that my clothes aren't super tight and that I'm not wearing something that Jorn would object to too much, it's really hard for a man to walk by me without taking a second look, which is fine by me because that's part of how I continue to make my living. I've managed to secret away a whole bunch of cred that in a separate bank account, so people can't actually see it. I've found the problem, but at the same time, I'm just kind of hanging out watching the situation. However, at this particular point, I believe, based on how my character's playbook is, we're supposed to do a birth roll at the very beginning of the session, and if I score a hit, then the game master asks me a question, and if I score a miss, then I ask the game master a question, and then somehow we'll fit this into the narrative. So, I'm now going to roll the dice. And it is a 6. It is a miss. So I will ask our MC one question.
Go ahead.
About my birth, and then I suppose either you'll answer it directly or somehow fit it into the narrative at some point. Let's see. And the question is anyone aware I am operational now?
All right. So if I understand correctly, I don't have to answer that question right away. I can answer that in the narrative somehow during the game, or I have to answer right now.
I would say use your judgment.
All right. So both of you are standing on the same corner in front of the Bells. And at this moment, Sam, the owner of the Veil, is a black, super jack pump douchebag albino black. So he's completely white, whiter than a white man, but has the black feature. And it's full of tattoo. He got the top of the notch, holograph. Well, top of the notch for these parts, right? Holographic tattoo over his arm, like he's pumped. He has veins big like my index, on his biceps and forearms. He's covered with jewels. and he has like a eye top, white eye top, curly black hair, albino style, yellowish, with some color on the side. He has, and in the back where it's shaved, it's written "The Bells," and which is the nickname for his nightclub. So he's sitting on the, he come out, and he looks at Cadmus, which is, Cadmus is a security guard, that's been around the construction site right there for months, and he's been watching stuff. But since the activity, creates all kind of fights, drugs, prostitution, services, loud music, problems, drunk guys, high guys trying to climb up the security site every day.
Because it's too hard for me to get home at night.
Yeah, so the thing is that they develop a relationship, because Sam somehow is trying to bribe Cadmus, and you want a free drink, come inside. You want a free girl tonight, come inside. So they have, they're trying to have some kind of a good relationship with one another. So they know each other for a while, for at least 2 or 3 months since the construction site has been building. The other Tess has been on the corner for a long time, for the months since she's been there. So and the landlord, her landlord, is Sam, because she lives on the 2nd floor of this nightclub in the small apartment, tacky, rundown, disgusting, smelly, smell of alcohol, 2nd roof apartment. And so Sam gets out and is like, geez, that's not gonna, oh man, it's not gonna look like it's gonna stop. I hope they're not gonna be destroying my facade today. This place, I mean, I've invested so much money in these bulletproof windows.
Didn't you say the same thing yesterday?
If I said the same thing yesterday, I said I've been. Listen, Cadmus. Listen. If you put all your life's work in such a place, and it's like my baby. The Bells is my baby. Don't you understand? Don't you understand? And the invite is still on you. I want you. I want to get drunk with you one day. I'm sure you're a funny guy.
Sure. Well, look, I'm not a big drinker, but I could maybe bring one of my shift mates over, introduce him to you. He's licensed to carry a weapon like I am, and at least he'll take you up on your offer.
Sam's he starts laughing and laughing and looks at you. He's tall. He's like 7 foot tall. Like, he's probably the tallest man you've seen. He might be augmented, but at the same time, in these parts, if someone gets some like this kind of augmentation, it would show. But he's so huge. He's looking down on you, and he's like, yeah, man, but if you think you're the only one with weapon in these parts, look twice.
Oh no, I can see them. I just mean I'm licensed.
He starts laughing, and then he stops when he realizes what you just said. And he nervously scratched the side of his head.
So, because of his nervousness, using my cyber eyes, I feel like giving him a quick scan, which I've been too polite to do before, looking for, illicit material, anything that would explode, anything that has projectiles, hard plastic, composite metals.
All right, so that's not a move. That's just
using X-ray eyes. Yes.
Using X-ray eyes, you look him up and down. Dude is augmented in his forearms. He has blades on the sides of his forearms. He has metal knuckles inside his fist. He has these tattoos that are synthetic, but they cover his body in strategic place, which which please, Ivan, don't do that. It takes me out of my head. No chat, please. I don't. It makes me. It's hard for me in English. All right. No chat, and the sound of the thing.
No worries.
The sound of the thing makes me. Okay, can you take off your mic, Ivan? When you type, it takes me out of my. Thank you very much. I can. All right, so I want to come back to it. So yeah, the tattoos are synthetic, hardening in skin, makes the skin harder. So there is special kind of metal in this tattoo, makes him harder. So judging by that, he's probably weighting something like 400 pounds just because of these materials. Otherwise than that, he has metal teeth, and metal jaw. Please bring back the mic. Thank you very much.
Well, he's certainly prepared to go home by subway. So I'll just smile at him. I've looked him up and down and back to the eyes again. And yeah, the comparison between us is hilarious. You know, he's, as you said, 7, 8 feet tall, 400 pounds. Cadmus's clothes fit, but you know, they've been taken in a few times. He's lost weight recently, and he absentmindedly, you know, just takes out a smart device to snap a picture of his own face, just without, like, by habit. And he's 5'11", maybe. Very slender, slight bulge under his jacket where the licensed firearm is. Eyes look real, ears look real. Anyway, you want me to bring my friend over?
Well, I mean, you won't. What are you talking about? I've been inviting you for months, and soon I will take it personal. But hey, I want to introduce you to someone. You see. But well, I think you've known each other for a while. You let her work, you know. So that's Tess right there. Hey, Tess, why don't you come over here? You see, this guy here needs some services, right? This guy right there needs some special services. You know, the kind of service that you do for the high of the top of the line in these parts clients, right? So why don't you give him some good advice or something? Why don't you introduce yourself properly? I'll make sure I'll get back to you. And he gives a smile and a wink to Tess. That was sitting, that was just right there, by the way.
Right. So Tess smiles. She watches the artificial light gleam off of his artificial teeth. So that's nice, smart. And saunters up, not in the most seductive manner, but just kind of walks up to Sam. Sure, Sam, I'll show your friend a good time. And she looks Cadmus up and down for a second, and pulls out a cigarette and says, "Hey, you light a lady's cigarette for her?"
No. Life's too short. Find something else to do with your fingers.
Oh, well, that could be arranged. you have Sam is right behind and he's like
So Tess actually puts her cigarette back in the pack and says, "So you've been guarding the street for a while now."
Yeah, this building's taken forever to go up, and I hope I'll get to see the completion date.
Sure you will. Are you on duty now, Captain? Or do you have time to chat?
No, my double shift is over. And I thought, if Sam here has some pub food that's worth eating, I might actually take him up on his offer this time. But it seems like all you can do in there is drink.
Oh, he's got some good food.
Bruh. This is a nightclub. There's no food in a nightclub. What the fuck are you talking about? This place is for ladies, dancing, tripping, nasty shit. I'm not gonna be. It's not a bar. If you want a bar, go to McD's. I've heard McD's. They can for a nice you know. You can have some alcohol at McD's. McD's, they have a bar. They have a bar forfeit now. But at the time when he starts to explain these things, there is a big pow. There's like a big commotion coming from the street. This gigantic crowd that is like just a few meters away from you, and there is like some of the like a group of people, maybe like five people, like two workers. But some of them, they wear masks and they have capes and they're fighting with the cops. So 3 or 4 cops are coming and they start beating them up, and use these whips, some kind of electrical whips, to try to tie them up. And there's some more of the
step
cops
in front of Tess.
And then some of the cops are coming in, and and some of the crowd people are jumping in as well. So after a couple seconds, it becomes 6 people fighting and rolling on the ground, and that takes over the sideway and right into you guys, like just because when a commotion like that starts in this kind of group, it just takes over the sidewalks and stuff.
So I'll be trying to usher Tess out of harm's way.
Well, as Cadmus steps in front of me in a very chivalrous manner, it's uncanny. He finds himself slammed up against the side of the building, and as he stepped in front of her, she realizes she's grabbed him, and the 2 of them are slammed up against the side of the building, and he's not sure how she just did that fast.
So, meanwhile, Sam Bakayoko looks at that, is like, hey, beware my windows, and his gigantic legs, and he's wearing like army boots, kind of war boots, but they are trendy as well. And he's kicking the cops and he's kicking the workers, and he's just trying to make room. And some of the bouncers, that are next to the door behind him are coming in, and they're trying to just push the people. And they're so big and they're so strong that they actually can 2 or 3 people at the same time, and just trying to cover the facade of the nightclub.
What do you think, McD? Sound good right about now?
Sure. I'm not getting paid to solve this problem.
Yeah. So I'm trying to like get us out the back way, away from the tussle, if we can manage to get ourselves out of there.
The streets are crowded with people. McD's, to go to the nearest McD's, is walking, counter sense of the wave of people. So you go the opposite direction of the coming of the flow of people. So it's like walking in a crowd, like walking in a show. You go in a music show full of people.
Go the wrong way.
You go the wrong way in a rock show. So you just walking in the people, and it's about a 30-minute walk.
Well, without even thinking about it, call up my agent and do a quick route comparison. Nearest McD's, considering human traffic. Like going with the flow, what's the closest?
So Ivan, that's lift the veil, and you need to narrate for him.
Okay. Well, at that point, as you lift it up,
he has to lift the veil first, though.
Yep, hang on. Yeah. All right. Rolling the literal bones. Oh, it's but a 6.
Oh, wait. What's your emotion right now? The state.
Yes. My state is sad, which is +1, making a 7.
Well, okay, so now that's the thing that I just want to see. So it's not just about saying the state. So when you narrate your thing, you need to show us how lifting the veil makes you sad, or why you're sad. Meanwhile, you do that kind of thing, just to make sure we get in.
Well, if you remember earlier in the conversation, it's like Tess was certain, absolutely certain that Cadmus would live to see the completion of the building. And while he was kind of neutral when he left work, you know, that instantly was a reminder. And of course, every time he talks to the owner of the Bells, every time he talks to Sam, it's like, come on in, let's party, let's waste time. But he doesn't have any. So now they're going off to eat to get away from the fight, which he doesn't have time for. He should go somewhere tonight and try and see if there's anybody who looks like they have the same kind of symptoms that he does. Because tonight, like every other night, he's one step closer to the grave. So that's why he's sad. And that's why he doesn't want to waste time taking 30 minutes walking upstream to get to McDonald's. He wants to the fastest way to get there. Every moment is precious.
Okay.
So what's the result?
The result was
So
7.
Yeah. That's impression. We're good?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the thing about, everybody has a somewhat different interface with the Veil. It somehow takes on a personality when it talks to you, which is odd, but I suppose this many decades, or who knows how long, of all that information going into the Veil, it starts to create, create some weird artifacts. So the odd thing about Cadmus's interface to the Veil is it tends to be this floating head, and it for whatever reason it tends to skip an awful lot. So it's, welcome agent. Let me see, calculating distance. Sorry. There, it seems to be 30. If you take 49th Street to wait, and you start to see like all these pictures of various traffic patterns, and it's akin to getting one of those multiple GPS routes. Choose this one, but they keep flashing. One gets highlighted, and the other one gets highlighted, and at the end, eventually the one that says 52nd Street just keeps flashing the most.
I selected
arrival time to 28 minutes.
2 minutes is 2 minutes. Let's go to 52nd.
As you guys walk up the stream, it's really hard to hear each other, to talk to one another. I mean, people are screaming, and now you are in a worker. You're going upstream, so you're in the worker section of the riots. Well, and all you see is sad faces of people that are that are hungry, people that are dirty, people that are just tired of this bullshit. People that and people are ugly, not just because they are malnutrition or dehydrated or whatever or stuff like that, because they have cheap ass cyberware, so cheap that it shows weird stuff. Like they have like people are trying to look better. So they get all kinds of implants and all kinds of different kind of aesthetic surgeries, but it doesn't last long. Some kind of synthetic stuff they put in their lips to look sexier. Now they have like those big ass lips that falls apart on the side. It's just disgusting. Some people are trying to have the cheekbone replaced and stuff, and now it's coming out of their skin, so they look like zombies with metal parts under it or stuff like that. Plastic, and now it meshes with the skin, and it creates these. When your skin is so clean that it shines like a mirror, but it's stretched out because it's plastic under it. They have like fake tooths in their mouth that are when they speak, when they scream, that are moving because it's not holding there now anymore, because they took away the one that were all
tangled,
angled, and you have the straight ones, but it's so cheap that it's falling apart. Stuff like that, and the smell of smoke mixed with the fried food that comes from the cheap restaurant from the side of the streets, and the riot has been going on for so long that our people that created some kind of businesses. It's like they are on wheels. They are in the middle of the crowd, and they feed people. to keep going. So they make money out of that riot. It's like an organic entity now, with all kinds of subsystems into it. They have their own police, which is the anonymous. You have the anonymous people in there that telling people what to do, giving information. They have doctors, that wear their medical gear on top of them, walking in the thing. It's not going.
Now, this is something I want to know about.
It's
the flow of people, the patterns in it, the organizations and the way they mesh together. This is the stuff that's starting to really draw my attention every time I'm out on the streets looking for that layer where it all makes sense. Like there's somebody above us orchestrating all of this. None of this, like day after day riots, none of this makes any sense. There has to be some kind of pattern in it. And lately, he's been seeing those patterns. And when he puts his mind toward analyzing the flow of data, he's finding more and more of it makes sense. And so, calling for analyze, and I get a free question by being the dying. This is pattern recognition. From the analyze move.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so his emotional state right now, no longer sad, more scared. And which is a flat, no bonus. I get a free question either way without rolling. That question will be, does it seem to me, does it seem like these opposing forces are really opposing each other? So, for example, the rebels and the cops.
Yes.
Okay. And the roll. 3.
It doesn't say. It doesn't say when you fail. So you don't.
I don't analyze anything.
You don't analyze. That's bullshit. Okay. No, I know. sorry, guys, but no. Come on. But I will not allow rolls for nothing. I mean,
but I think at this point that failure prompts a game master move. So you've got to look. You should be looking at all those game master moves.
That's the thing. I'm sorry. Yeah.
To the bottom of the reference sheet. But the good thing is Cadmus has earned himself an experience point.
Yeah, you're right. While you were analyzing the situation, you got bumped into and stuff like that, and someone took your weapon.
Whoa! But it's licensed.
Yeah. So when you were in the crowd analyzing and everything, you were paying attention to everything, and you were musing about the possibility of the police and the rebels, the anonymous movement, being the same, just creating all kinds of commotion and stuff, conspiracy theory kind of thing. You were in your head, someone bumped into you and everything, and now you're realizing you have no more weapon.
Damn. Well, I got to get it back.
So as you guys are as you guys are still walking, you are arriving at the McD's, and getting out of the crowd. There is all kinds. The lineups are crazy. The McD's are just there. There's no people working there anymore. It's been years. Nobody. The McD's is completely automated now. It's just a bunch of robots. It's just a big counter that makes 2 corners. It goes around the corner and it goes on the other side of the corner. It's just a gigantic corner. The smell is exquisite. So it's really hard not to fall for it. And then as you get closer to it, you just automatically get into the lineups. And the lineups are, it's completely crazy that today, because of the riots and everything, and there's no McD's in the riot. It's not, the business is not, it's all automated. So they haven't managed to get inside the movement. But there's just usually there's always a place to go. There's always a counter 3. Today, there's like at least 5 people everywhere, and there's no line. So it's the first one like that gets it. So that's the scenery right now. And every time you try to hold your place in the line, you get pushed by the wave of people all the time.
You know how to show a girl a good time.
Well, it gets better. I got robbed on the way here.
Robbed? What
Yeah.
happened?
You know, too many people, too worried about what's going on around us, and they picked my pocket, took my gun. I'm going to need it if I'm going to work tomorrow.
Well, just look around the sea of humanity. I'm no mathematician, but I'm guessing your chances of getting your gun back are pretty low.
I am a mathematician, and you are correct.
So, at this point, let's see. I look, you know, and at the lines in McD's. I'm looking back at some of the questionable food cards, which are probably controlled by Sanguis. You know, God knows whether that stuff will kill you or not. I you know, look at Cadmus and I said, "You feel like going someplace else? I do know a guy. We can get some real decent food and sit down.
Is it
And
close?
he might even be able to. Yeah, it's close. And so I'm going to use, what is the name of that move? The link move.
The link move.
Link.
Yep.
Alrighty. So I know I need to roll dice, and then we get to decide who this person is. All right. So I'm still only using these scared. I'm not sure if this is a modified roll or just a straight up roll, because I only have the scared emotion unlocked. So Tess is always on edge at this moment. So should I roll first? What's my what are we going to say? How are we going to do this?
Well, you have to roll.
Yeah.
For Link, yes.
Actually, I have to roll.
Well. It says you decide how you know them and feel about them, then you roll.
Okay. So I know a guy, Lothar. He runs kind of like it's almost like a speakeasy. It's like a basement, but instead of being a bar, it's literally a sandwich shop.
Rotar or Lothar?
Lothar, Lothar.
Yeah.
You can smoke there. You can get some beer there if you really want. But really what it is it's like an independent, not controlled by Sanguis, not controlled by LifeX, place to get a grinder. Maybe a bowl of soup. Some place where you can eat almost like a human being. It's not cheap.
Oh. Yeah, well. You only live once.
That's true. That's true. So at this point, do I get now that enough information? Or do you want me to supply anything else?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, let's see. Oh my God, I have an 11. Woohoo! All righty. So the relationship is in good standing.
Yeah, so narrate us where he lives, how you go there, and everything about this guy from now on.
Right. So I take us from the Mickey D's area, and going down a series of side streets, progressively farther and farther away from the main area. The places that seem even more run down, the places where the construction really hasn't hit yet. It's more of the trash bags and dumpsters right in the middle of the street or the alley. You're passing the place where there's still every once in a while you'll see a real rat, which don't last long because they're likely to be on the menu at some point. But there's this part where you finally get to this like basement entrance with just it's got trash and debris all around it. It doesn't even look like it would be a spot that anybody would ever go. But Tess leads you down there. She knocks 3 times. There's a couple knocks back.
You hear in the back.
Scan.
You hear in the back of the door, on the other side of the door. You hear. and then the door opens, and then you have the smell of sandwich and ham and all kind of stuff, you know, like it smells like bread that has been cooking in the back a little bit and everything. And in front of you, there's this old guy, like 60-year-old, early 60s, really good shape. Looks in good shape, doesn't look like in bad shape, but he's, you know, he has this white hair, a little messed up. You know, he has like yellow hair coming out of his nostrils, and he has like these yellow fingers, and he has a smoke, you know, in the corner of his mouth. There's oh, come on in, and he, you know, throw that blue smoke in your faces, and it's like, oh, Tess, baby girl, come on in, it's been a long time. And then he grabs her by the neck like that, and he kisses her on the cheek, but on the corner of the lips. And he gives her a tap on the butt as she comes in, and he say, hey, what's up, man? How are you? My name is Lothar. Come on in. Welcome. What can I do for you? And he wants to shake your hand.
Shake his hand. Lothar, my name is Cadmus, and I'm starving.
Oh, yeah, well, of course, with all these people. It's crazy out there, isn't it? It's crazy, completely crazy. Come on in. The place is empty. But he was cooking because he's wearing his thing in front of him, and he's like, come on in. I was getting ready for supper. I thought there was more people coming in because of all this riot in the street and people, but nobody seems to see my entrance. By the way, Tess, can you put that sign I just made? Put it out there. It's 50% on the second sandwich. If you can put it out there, might attract some more people. And by the way, put a chair in front of the door. Maybe people are gonna come in. I know it's cold, but it's too hot anyway in here. And he's talking, and just sometimes he's not even waiting for you guys to answer. He's just
I'll do the things that he asked. I'll get the chair. I'll prop the door open. I'll take the sign out to the street and then come back.
He turns around and says, "Oh, Tess, how are you? What's going on? What's? I see. Is it a new customer or something? I've never seen his face before."
Yeah, new customer, sweetie. New customer. What do we got today? Anything good?
Oh, got some turkey, got some ham. You know, well, turkey and ham, you know, for what it is in these parts. But it's, you know, turkey and ham, and I got some vegetables, and I got some fresh mayo I just made this morning. Yeah, that tuna. Yeah, I got some tuna. It's not too old, and I know you like it fresh. So yeah, some salad.
Yeah, so, you know, I'll have a salad and a half of a ham sandwich, but I'm looking back at Cadmus. Make him a big plate. He looks like he hasn't eaten in a while.
And Lothar starts cooking in the back, you know, gets his thing going.
So wait for Cadmus to join me, and I've already got a cigarette lit. You know, sitting at one of the many round tables in the establishment.
So you like ash flavoring?
Yeah, it's a bad habit, but for some reason I like these. You know, you only live once, right?
Yeah, more so. I'll give this Tess a good hard look. Up and down.
Well, you see a completely synthetic body, completely synthetic structure. So you see clearly that she's not human. She's a cybernetic being.
Well, more power to you. I guess it's not going to hurt you anyway.
What do you mean by that?
Smoking.
They tell me it causes cancer.
Well, yeah, to organic tissue.
Oh, I look surprised for a second.
In your consciousness test right now, there is a strong pulsion, really strong pulsion to grab Cadmus' hands and put it on your
flesh.
I don't know this part, this human part, the leg. You know, put it in the leg, the thigh, between close to the triangle genital. Just
Right.
strong portion to grab it and put your hand there and smile kind of thing.
Right. So I grab his hand. It's like, it feels real to you, doesn't it?
Sure. Totally real.
So at this point,
just blank face it.
So at this point, I'm wondering to myself, well, how in the world did he know? He must must be able to see me. But if he can see that I'm not real, then other people must be able to see that I'm not real as well. So I'm wondering to myself, is there any way I can disguise this? So I'm going to try to lift the veil and see if I can get any answers for that.
Through me or through just lifting the veil?
We're gonna lift the veil here. We're gonna lift the veil because I want to talk to my interface with the veil and say, if people can actually, with the correct augmentation, can actually see that I'm artificial, that's bad.
So
let me give a roll here. Oh, I've got a 7, so I've only got an impression, or well.
The interface is just a quick dump of information, no voice, just a sense, almost like a blinking cursor and a line of text, except that doesn't play against the inside of your eyes. It's just a model number for a middle of the road version of Cyber Eyes, which have been boosted legally and licensed by Watchful Eye. Warning. But no information is given about the warning.
So I bring my gaze back to Cadmus as I realize I've kind of looked up and to the right for a second. And I say, so I suppose that despite what Sam said, you're probably not looking for a good time, are you, fella?
If I were here for a long time, I'd be looking for a good time.
You sure do speak in riddles. So tell me, what is it that you do for that security company anyway?
Mostly
you don't
I
look like you're
stand in the
hired
cold
muscle.
and get rained on. Hired muscle. I'm a pair of eyes. I'm a pair of ears. I'm the front line of defense. I guess you'd call me a scout more than anything else. When things are going to get really, really bad, then I call up the big boys.
So your eyes.
So for my money, I get to carry a gun. I get to wear armor. I get to make enough money to survive and watch the riots every day for 16 hours a day.
She gets a quizzical look at her face. She goes, how does that make you feel? The riots. The walk
riots. Here. How does it make me feel? Like every person is an indistinguishable drop in a river of time that's running away from me.
Huh. Tess just gets a quizzical look on her face at this point.
Go ahead.
I don't know if I understand that sentiment, but I look at all these people out here. I stand in that corner. I watch the riots. I watch the fights. Even just when we walk by Mickey D's or McD's. McD's. I watch the carts. And it just seems like there's so many of them. Everybody seems so lost. And I feel like I should feel something, but I'm not sure what I should feel.
At this moment, Lothar, brings the sandwich and the salad and all that, and he's like, fellas, Yeah, enjoy yourself. That's gonna be. It's my specialty. I put exactly the amount of mayo you like, Tess, in the thing. I know you like it. You know, like when it drips. You know, you like when it drips. And the on the other side, I don't know you, sir, but I hope the sandwich will be good. That's my specialty. It's the turkey and ham. I mixed it up together. I put some
Sounds
mustard,
fantastic.
some spicy mustard. It's my specialty. You'll see. It's not so bad. And I put a boiled egg on the top of your salad right there. You big fella. You big fella. You like this kind of stuff. But as the time he's explaining the cooking to you, there is 3 guys that comes in, from outside. They have these masks, tragedy mask, and they lift it up on the top of their head. One of them is wearing it in the back of his head, and the other one has a tattoo on his face that covers the half of his face as the tragedy mask. The other side doesn't have it. And he entered. They let 3 of them enter silently. They are dressed seriously. I mean, like they have like combat apparatus, army style, but black and gray, army style apparatus, really dark. They have their names here, some kind of rank on the shoulder, and one of them, the one with the half of the face, has a big black army bag in the back of his head. He's taking it off. 3 of them are sitting in one of the corner of the room. They just snap their fingers to Lothar, which is, goes to them and start talking to them. And they sit there, take off their mask, and the other guy takes some kind of platform from his big bag, put it on the table, and then they some holographic stuff starts to appear, 3D. With a finger, and some there's a small light at the top of the finger, and he's just manipulating the 3D holographic stuff on the table while they speak in silence in the back.
I completely ignore this.
I'll do my best not to look at what they're doing on the table, but I'm going to listen very carefully because I'm concerned. So using the voice analysis ability of my ears, I'm listening for stress. Are they about to do something, or are they just planning?
There is no stress at all in what you are hearing. They are making some plans, and they are talking about some people. So they are mentioning that there is some kind of there is a guy, like they keep on talking. His name is W. So W should be here tonight. We're supposed to meet him at the square, the Jersey Square, and they speak about how W's plan is going to fail, and they don't like it. And then some of the guys say we must do something about it, and the other guy says, yeah, but we're supposed to structure the organization toward the Jersey Square tonight. But some of the guys from because they talk about also a guy named Pavlov, and Pavlov is trying to take a part of the riot and bring it some other place to surprise the other guys at the Jersey Square, and they just talk about that. And it's just it's like coming in the middle of a conversation, so that the information you get is that there's a guy named Pavlov that it doesn't seems to agree with a guy named W, and W wants the riot to gather around the Jersey Square because they want to take over the Jersey Square as a strategic position, but Pavlov wants to go the other way around and reach the channel, which is a big aqueduct system that circles around the Jersey district, separating the Jersey district from the St. Margaret district on the other side. Then they are planning this, and you see, you know, city parts and building, and they zooming in and they zooming out, and they just talk about that. Yeah.
Right.
So mostly at this point, I'm not really listening and watching that group of people. I'm watching Cadmus watch them. I'm watching him listen to them, and I so lean into him and say, "You watch everybody, don't you?"
And he just nods distractedly because he almost can't help himself. Right. The Jersey squares around where he works, this might be valuable information, which might kind of balance out this terrible situation of having lost his sidearm. You know, I was going to eat with a girl and I lost my gun, but you know, if he so started to think about what it is they're saying, and again, dipping into pattern recognition, I'll analyze the two distinct plans, and see what comes of it in terms of, I don't know, which one I think is the better plan, and which one they've got all this tech, right? They're likely to come to the same conclusion that I do, but maybe I'll get there faster. So.
And how do you feel about that?
How do I feel? This
fail.
I have been scared this whole time, but this is a chance. But I don't think it's enough of a chance to push me out of feeling scared toward anything that might be more upbeat. It's an opportunity. If it pans out, then I'll feel something different. But until then, I'm just worried about employment and what's going to happen with that gun out there and that sort of thing. Nine.
And you have a free question on top of that, isn't it?
I get a free question on top.
That's 3 questions, my man. So go ahead.
Okay. Question number 1. Which plan seems better, W or I've forgotten the name of the other guy.
Pavlov.
Pavlov, right? W or Pavlov, which one makes more sense to me? Because I work in that area all day, every day, right?
Yeah, Pavlov's plan seems better because the police, the square, is such a strategic place that it will be the center of war, right? So it's this is just going to be messy either way. So the other plan seems better just because it's so out of nowhere.
This is my first close encounter with Anonymous. Do they seem like they have the goodwill of the goodwill of the people at heart, or are they just a bunch of street thugs looking to take over the top? Like, are they talking about preserving life, or are they just talking about taking territory?
They have their own agenda. They talk about territory. They don't seem to care about life of the workers or whatever.
Right. And based on their rank insignia and the amount of information they're having, how important are these guys to the organization?
Important enough to take time to go into a restaurant, strategize stuff, talk about stuff, and leading a bunch of people. So they are important enough that they can trigger the direction of a part of the riot toward that other place versus that other place.
And Tess mentioned this place was expensive, so okay.
Well, go ahead.
Well, then I will shift my chair casually, looking like I'm paying attention to my lovely companion, and I'm about to start paying some attention to my lovely companion. But at that point, it's time to just be able to see them, have them in the view of my eyes. And if Watchful Eye chooses to record that, that's on them.
At this moment, Lothar comes back, cleaning his hand from the dirty cloth that he has on his waist, and he sits next to you, guys at the table, and he put his hand on Tess's thigh, and he's like, listen, baby, and he's not talking loud. He's like, yeah, I cannot, like my cook just called me, and he's not gonna show up today because of the riot or something. He just gave me some bullshit shit. But listen, baby girl, do you have a smoke? By the way, do you have a smoke? I'm running out of smoke, and
I just tossed him. I tossed him a Chesterfield without even thinking about it.
And he's like, yeah. So I gotta listen. I cannot leave the place, but I need my smoke. And if I I need my smoke, and I cannot get some of the salads and the eggs and the tomato that was supposed to come in today. And I gotta make that money, and these guys are gonna start coming in, and I'm gonna be running out of food, and I cannot leave the place alone, and I don't want to lose any clients. Can you please go out for me, baby girl, and just bring me back some eggs, some salads, some tomatoes, and some smokes. Oh, hey, if you can also ask Sam about a good bottle of vermouth, a good bottle of bourbon or something like that. Something not so cheap. I'm willing to pay, but I'm gonna pay him later on tonight. But the day's gonna be long. You know me, Tess. Come on, please. Can you do that for me?
So Tess starts laughing at Lothar because this is not the first time she's heard this story. So
the chef's not coming in today.
Yeah, she does. So she lifts up her hand, and there's like a little cred meter that goes up. She just pays for the meal. Doesn't even think about it. So, yeah, okay, baby, I'll be back. We'll put this on your tab this time. And I give him this kiss on the cheek.
He's like, oh, and he's rubbing your thigh, and he's like, oh, thank you, and he gives you a kiss on the cheek back, and he's going back to cook some stuff.
Yeah, and I said, remember now, Lothar, you don't have to pay me for getting you the tomatoes and the eggs, but you do have to pay me for other things. So easy with the fingers, pal. And I smile at him. It's all playful.
On the way out, I sincerely shake his hand, a two-handed handshake, and I look him dead in the eye, and I say, that was a great meal.
He's like,
Could be my last.
He's like, and he's like he's coughing in his hand, the hand that probably made that meal, and he's rubbing it back on his dirty cloth, and he's like, yeah, well, no problem, pal. Every Tess is friends, my friend. So always, feel free to come back, and please, man, please, can you accompany her at least? He's like, because I'm scared for her in these streets nowadays. I mean, it's crazy time out there, right? Anyway, I'll give you a sandwich for free, you and your friend at the thing, and come back anytime you want. Free sandwich. It's on me, and he's going back again.
So I followed Tess out.
So here's what I want to do. I want to start to take him some of the black market areas. I know that you can get some synthetic eggs, some synthetic tomatoes and whatnot from Sanguis. But at the same time, I want to try this mechanic and see if you think this is a correct place to use the mechanic. I'm looking to try to use the Abyss Stairs back, but not trying to do it from talking to the Veil so much as talking, like interacting with something new in an attempt to understand humanity. So really what my intention is here is to talk to Cadmus about how he views humanity, because I'm really just trying to understand emotion. So I'm not sure if that would trigger that move or would be appropriate for that move.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay. So we're walking down here, and I said, sweetie, well, we're going into that part of town anyway. It's really tough to get these eggs and everything that Lothar wants, but I've done this one before. I know the right people. But if you need a sidearm, this is the place to get it. I can help you get one, but I want something from you in return.
All right. Tell me what it is.
You know,
first.
I talked to you, and you just seem. I think the word is sad. And I look at the way you look at the people here, at the humanity. I don't understand that. I was hoping you could explain.
I don't know if I can, but he takes out his device, his photographic device, right? And we'll see what happens.
All right, we'll see what happens. I guess I'm gonna roll these dice, and that is a 7.
Okay.
Apparently, it's a
That's
generating
a
one humanity. That's in the actual apparatus playbook. So I'm only going to generate one humanity.
Okay. On a 7. Okay. So I can feel free to humanize you a bit.
There you go.
So yes, he starts sliding through pictures. And this is actually going to dig into generating obligation via my playbook. But he's sliding through pictures. These are all young men, right? And he says, take a look at each of these faces. They all look distracted. They all look like they're off work. They all look like they're somewhere in the city. He says, each one of these men is gone. No one will ever know who they were, what they thought, what they did, who they helped, who they harmed. They vanished in time. Gone, dead, forgotten.
What happened?
They died. They ceased to exist. Their period of service ended. They were shut off, never to be turned on. They died.
And another one comes to replace them.
Another nameless, faceless one comes to replace them. And what he doesn't say as he puts away the device is that all of those men were wearing his clothes, standing in front of the places where he lives, where he works, where he walks. And all of those men could have been him.
Tess actually looks a little sad. And you can see just this little teeny, not very big, tear roll down her cheek. And she wipes it away, kind of surprised by it. Just looking at it for a second.
Tears. Don't let anybody see those around here.
No, I suppose you're right. I suppose you're right.
I've been meaning to come down here, but I wasn't quite sure how to get here. You've been a big help. I've been wondering about these foods and people's health.
No problem, sweetie. No problem. I'm sure you can help me out sometime.
Well, maybe we can help each other.
And I give him a look. Maybe we can, sweetie. And I give him a kiss on the cheek. But a very platonic kiss. And I don't know if you want to play through getting all the synthetic tomatoes and eggs and everything, but I've done this enough times that I set up a separate sub account in my cred system just for Lothar, so he can pay me back. So I buy all the vegetables and whatnot, because this is a rotating thing with Lothar, which is probably the reason he still likes me.
When you go to the black market and you reach the Sanguis guys to do so, You know, this is in the back alley. You know, it's not so far from where his restaurant is. Like it's in like two or three corners away. So by going there, you kind of get out of the stream of people somehow, and then you reach some empty streets. You know, around the 45th and 43rd and 44th street, and in the back of an old chapel, but it's a chapel that used to be an after hour, then it became an abandoned building, then it became so many things that it doesn't, you know, it's a chapel, but it's also like there is condo on the side of it and stuff, so it's some Gothic architectural modern mixed up with Art Deco, full of neon lights and signs on the thing, and there is a like a door that has like a iron fence on the side, but it's really small. It's like it's high, and it's curved at the top, so it's probably like something like, I don't know, 8 foot, 9 foot high. Maybe more, maybe like some 12 foot high, and it's a fence that goes when you open it. But on the other side, it's not like an area. It's a corridor. So you go through that corridor, and that corridor leads to like an empty, an interior park. You know, there is a big complex. There's an interior park, and this place is filled with people gathering stuff from elevators. From the top, there is an air traffic pod that is on one corner of this place. This place is big, like I would say half a soccer field, maybe like a baseball field. It's big like a baseball field. In one of the corner, you have. It's built like a baseball field, you know, like not necessarily a professional baseball field, but I would say, you know, a baseball field you see in a park, and it's right there, and it's and on the corner you have a pod for air traffic. You have some elevators on the other side on the left side, on the right side of the place. In the middle of it, there's a gigantic circular counter full of people working there, and it's a Sanguis. It's one of the Sanguis. On the black market, it's one of the Sanguis spots. I don't know how to say that in English, but it's a spot. It's a place where you go and you can have some food, some medicine and stuff on the black market for cheap, depending on what they have, depending on when and how and all that. And so the people are I'm sorry?
Clinic.
Yes, well, there is some doctors in the back. Some people are doing stuff. They don't do cyber stuff. They do health stuff, keeping people alive stuff. And it's a really leftist organization. It's an organization that is really, you know, they're trying to get some biological stuff, you know, when they can. They're trying to get some good medicine when they can, and they're trying to do good services. And so when you reach, so they have they have a hippie culture, you know, long hair, dreads, you know, dress in colors.
So I'm way overdressed.
Way overdressed. It smells like weed when you get there. There's always this big smoke on the top. You don't see the sky, never there, because the smoke is taking the whole thing. And people are just, you know, like because it's in the middle, it's covered with buildings around it, right? So it's an image. So when you reach there, it's full of people, more than usual, because of the riots not far. So the people who knows where they are, they come and gather stuff, and they go back to the riot and everything. So it's really busy. Everything is really busy nowadays in the Jersey district, at least for the last couple of weeks. And so as you enter there, you know, you get access to everything, and people are, well, there is guards at the door, but you know, they smile at Tess, and then you just get in.
I just grabbed Tess by the shoulder, not aggressively, but like for stability, right, for balance. All these people all at once. This is perfect. This place. and just looking from face to face to face to face, looking for something.
So I put my hand right around Camus's waist. What is it, honey? Never seen this many hippies before?
No, thank God. But he's still looking for people like him.
This is an analyze move.
Fair enough.
I'll be back in 1
Definitely.
second, fellas, but analyze away.
I think with so many people and so much information, I guess it falls under pattern recognition as well. It's looking for the norms and the people who are different like him. You know, the people whose clothes don't quite fit, the people who are wasting away, you know, skin's too pale, definitely not hippies. Now this is, I'm going to go with joyful, but this is also a flat roll. There's no bonus on it. But I get a free question.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll first before I ask the free question. 5.
Huh. Okay, ask your question, please.
Okay. Are any people here being turned away, like they're not treatable by these people?
No. No.
All right.
At this moment, there's a doctor that comes in. A guy on the side says, you, over here, because you were looking at, but meanwhile you were looking at the clinic area. There is a guy, looks like a Pakistanese guy, you know, bald head, really normal dude, dressed in some kind of you know, it's not necessarily army pants, but it's like jogging pants, but with pockets on the sides, and he has this thing that has no leaves. It's full of pockets here in the front.
Right. Cargo pants and a vest.
Yeah, and he has like under it like wool, a big wool shirt under that thing. And he's looking at you and say, "Hey, you come over here, come over here, come over here. I see you, I see you.
I see you too.
Yeah, come over here, come over here." And as you get closer to him, he says, "Please sit on the." He's putting some gloves on, change his gloves, put some new gloves on. Sit on that bed there. Sit on that bed.
So I lean into Tess to whisper as we're walking over, and say, "You want to learn about how people feel? Watch this." And I sit.
And as you sit, he stops talking, and then he starts to look at you really seriously, really cold manner. He's like, "Oh yeah, I see." He opens your eyes. As he opens your eyes, you see his eye goes glitching a little bit. You open your eyes, yeah. And he smells. And he's looking at at your skin, and he says, because you have some stuff in the neck here under your hair. He's like, you have. I've recognized it. I see that. I know. You're dying. Do you know that?
Yeah.
You knew that. Okay, you knew it already. All right. The thing though is there any more of that?
There used to be. It's more advanced now.
What do you mean it's more advanced? Your skin is getting better? I thought, because I've heard that the thing is that it's getting worse. The more you die, the more the skin's getting worse. So any new? How long did you have this one?
Not long. He takes out the photograph again and says, "This was me last week." It's different face. This was me last week.
Okay, I see. So the thing is that you're changing.
So he's just looking right in Tess, right? He's not really focusing on the doctor. He's looking at Tess this whole time.
Okay, so oh my God, and he's calling a friend of his. He's like, come on in. I want to show you something. You see this man over here? He's he got the. I thought they used to call it. How did they call it in at school back in the days? It's the dermatis oppostulis econominus. He's like, no, it's not the dermatis oppostulis econominus. It's the dermatis. Show me again. Oh, and this is him last week. Oh, and he's looking at you. He's like, you're dying, man. Do you know that? The new one says that.
I know that.
There's nothing we can do about him. And then the Pakistanis doctor is looking at the other one. Is like, how long do you give him? He's like, I don't give him more than a week. If it's you last week,
I wink at Tess at that.
He's like, I'm not giving him more than a week. And then you're lucky if you last that long.
I'll take that bet. Have you seen others like me? Others like me here?
And then they look back, and the Pakistanis looking at the guy. Thank you, Elvis. I'll take it from you. Okay. And the Elvis, the doctor, is going away, and he's coming back. He's like, yeah, well, what's your name? I'm Tafik, by the way, Tafik. And he's shaking your hand, but with the gloves on.
Right. Nice to meet you, Tafik.
And he turns around. Nice to meet you too. And he turns around to Tess. Would you say you? Oh, you didn't say. Okay, I thought you said, "Cat, my name is Cadmus."
No, I just say, "Nice to meet you."
Oh, okay.
Most people don't notice.
He's concerned, and he turns around toward Tess, and he says, "Are you his girlfriend? Are you his girlfriend?"
I say yeah without skipping a beat.
You're his girlfriend. So you touched him? Because if you touched him, you'll be dying too.
While he's looking at Tess, I'll just shake my head no, looking at Tess.
It's like, oh, thanks for letting me know. And
because you'll be dying. If you I just want to let you know, if you're his girlfriend, it means you've touched him today.
It's probably, fella.
So yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, no, be honest. I'm a doctor. I'm here for do you good. You will get the disease probably. Listen. I've seen you around, girl. I've seen you around. Come here maybe once or twice a week sometimes. So look, I don't know how long you've been with the guy, but I'm gonna tell you this. If you start to see your skin change and get some stuff like this on the side, and then he's showing him the skin on the side of Cadmus' face, he said, it means you don't have much time to live. And the other things also you need to understand is that if all this and there's no cure for it. So you're gonna need to stop touching people, otherwise it's gonna get really, really contagious, especially in these parts.
I pull on my gloves.
And I look back at the doctor, look at me, and you've seen nobody else like him?
I've seen around here. It's the first one, but I've heard about the disease. It comes from exposure. It's some people they don't the veil. You see the veil. It has some radioactive stuff in it. I mean, this augmented reality is not for everyone. So a really, really low percentage of individuals get some skin burned, and it changed the DNA of the skin. So people change their faces, and it changed the thing, and it's just it's messed up. It ruins your tissue basically. The thing though is that the what we see because we don't have a listen. I'm not gonna give you a crash course in medicine, but the tissue, the derm is what you see, but inside the organs are changing as well. And when the tissue of the heart or the tissue of the lungs or the tissue of whatever is going to start changing on you, well, you know what it means, if you know what I mean.
So at this point, I stand up, I pat the man on the shoulder, and I say, "Thanks for your concern."
Oh, my pleasure, man. My pleasure. I would at least I'd let you know. At least it's my responsibility. If you don't want to spread that disease around, right? The thing that because the thing is though it afflicts the one that gets it naturally, but if you touch if you have too much contact with some people, the DNA goes into the other skin, and then it starts to become pandemic.
So move away from this man, get really close to Tess once again, whisper once again, really hard, and Tess, there must be others like me, just like me, not what he's talking about. And I can find the cause. I can find the cause if I can find enough of them. That's what I'm going to do. I don't know how long I have. But before I die, I'm going to find at least the cause. Do you understand?
And Tess looks right at Cadmus, and actually has her second tear of her life rolling down her cheek. I understand. Do you think you're going to die as soon as he says?
Who can say? But I feel fine. Now here's where I have a system question. We have just completed one of Cadmus's obligation questions.
Yeah, I don't understand the obligations questions. Can you enlighten me?
So, because he has confided his outlook on life and what he intends to do because he is sick to one person, that being Tess. He's chosen Tess.
Yeah, I see.
Right? You have one obligation on them.
Oh, yeah.
So what I'm guessing is this sparks some kind of guilt or sympathy in the target character where they want to help out because of pity or something like that, which might be an interesting experience for...
Oh, yeah, you got it. So she has an obligation on you. Yeah, nice. Thanks for letting us know. So, Ivan, you have an obligation on him, probably toward finding a cure. I think that's what the thing was about.
Right.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
So that might be somehow humanizing on our our artificial young lady.
I look. I was like, I'll try to help you as best as I can. We should get you that sidearm. Although I can't promise it will be legal and licensed.
As long as it's big and loud, no one cares.
Of course, if you pay, and I wish I could remember the name that I invented. if you pay Wraith enough creds, they can make anything officially licensed. but that's up to you. So,
All right.
I'm gonna say unless
Lead on,
you want to say
girlfriend.
anything different. If you want to say anything different, I know that's in this area, in the Sanguis area, you can actually buy some firearms if you know the right people.
So I say
Is
once
that,
again, lead on, girlfriend.
right on, right on. So I'm leading them on to the right people. Go past the doctor, past the tomato sellers, past the people that sell the maybe synthetic, maybe not synthetic eggs, to some other people that sell some booze, and that's kind of their front. So I'm going to pick up one of those bottles of bourbon for Sam and ask him for the one with the artificial label on it. So it's the cheap bourbon, but I'm going to have the good bourbon label on it. You know, that might have come, which to be honest is probably exactly what it would have come from Sam's Club too. It's just a matter of the label, you know.
Right.
And get a bottle that's going to make Lothar happy, but then just ask him around, like, I'm going to need a revolver or some kind of weapon for my friend.
I'm partial to flechette pistols. I like to make a mess if I have to shoot.
Oh.
He says, well, there is, I don't have any of those right now. I've been emptied by the people for the anonymous people. The anonymous people came a couple days ago, and they took all my stuff, and you know what these motherfuckers didn't even pay. They didn't even pay me.
I show him my empty holster, and I say, I know exactly how you feel.
Oh, man, it's I don't know what happened to you. You got stole. You look like a Safex guy, aren't you? You're a Safex guy.
Yeah, subcontracted through Watchful Eye.
He's like, you brought this guy here. You bring a Safex guy in these parts.
I can vouch for him. He's harmless.
Yeah, well.
I show him my ID.
He's like, I'm sorry, girl, but I think you don't understand the rules of these places. You don't bring any bourgeoisie guy over here. Any
bourgeoisie.
All right.
I don't care what level he is. I don't care what it is. And then he snapped his fingers. It's like Tommy, come over here. Tommy is a transgender.
I'm gonna shut this guy down. I'm tired of being pushed around.
Tommy is like it's a female, but it's transgender, so he's a man, but it's a female man. And he's just big, he's like 6 foot tall. He has she, I don't know how to say it in English if you have it, but Z have a beer belly with right. Boobs that are strapped on under his shirt. It's big and fat and big and tough, and it's like, yeah. And she has like a ponytail on the back, blonde hair, and she's wearing she's wearing gloves because she was working with packing stuff in the bag. It's like, yeah. So she was like, yeah, so what happened here? What's going on? What's up? What's up?
So,
why are you?
Like I say, Cadmus has had a little bit enough, and that whole doctor scene was just a little bit more than he could take, and revealing himself to this appliance. It's been a very, very particular kind of experience. So he's had enough. He's got to lay an ultimatum on the guy. It's like, tired of the bullshit. I need a weapon. I am not Safex. Don't want any further trouble. Sell it to me. Let's get out of here.
Okay, so ultimatum. So okay, and you are angry, I guess. You're angry.
Yeah.
You're mad, I guess. Yeah, you're mad. Yeah. All right.
Not that helps me. +1 for being mad. Cool. So yeah, like I say, he's had enough, more than enough. Much more than enough.
Yeah, roll your thing and go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. 9. Ultimatum is awesome.
Yeah. When you win, you lose. It's a tough choice here, kids, in case you're watching.
Yeah, he's got a lot of choices to sift through.
A lot of choices. This is the playing the game to figure out how to play the game part.
Yeah, it's not an easy choice. On a 10 plus, he has to decide if he wants.
Okay, so what was the consequence? What was the consequences? You
being identified as a black market dealer. So if he forces me to go through
okay, so no problem. They will they attempt to remove you as a threat after taking the established consequences. So Tommy, the big lady, she's like, oh, she starts laughing. Oh, well, alrighty, boys, we have a guy here who has had enough. He said, Mr. here said he has had enough, right? So let's move him out of let him show him the way out of the premises. He says he wants to say that he says he wants to reveal this cover operation of ours. But what he doesn't know is that his bosses allow us to be here because it facilitates their life, right? So come on now, all right, circulate, and there's two big fellas that comes in. They grab you by the side and they attempt to lift you.
Yeah, I don't think I'm that keen on letting them do that.
All right.
And at the same point, I want to try to create a diversion at this point because I realize things are going to go very, very badly.
So go ahead.
Here's what I'm going to do at the risk
before they grab him. They arrive. I'm sorry, they arrive and they say, okay, Mister, you gotta get out of here. And we know you had enough. You look like you had enough. You look quite pale and shaky. Okay, come on. Don't make a fool of yourself. Everything's gonna be fine.
So at the risk of ruining the reputation of my channel, I realized what I need to do is to divert all these people long enough for us to start to get a slip. So Tess is going to do one of the things she's really good at. Most of her clothes are designed to be removed very fast. So she pretty much flashes them and says, hey, fellas, look. And she does this. And I'm going to say that I forgot to mention after doing that lifting the veil thing that I want to spend my one humanity on actually unlocking a state. I wanted to unlock sad because it seemed like we were talking about being sad. So I'm a little sad here at this particular moment, which I believe sad in my playbook is 0.
And why and how that narration portray that sadness exactly?
Oh, sad is actually +1. I didn't realize I made her sad was +1 too.
Yeah. So what's the reason why you sad?
I'm just sad that this is the kind of stuff that happens, when humanity deals with each other, and that, despite the fact that I had the suspicion that I might have been created to serve humanity. Once I realized that I wasn't actually real, it seems like they're just not worth it. The more I look at how humanity treats each other, the more I just. I have pity for them. I definitely have pity for Cadmus, but I'm more sad at this is what they are. So I'm now going to attempt to divert them through my flawless body, and with the element of surprise.
All I see right now is her flashing with tears falling down her eyes. right? Just like,
yeah, well,
I got a bunch of stupid humans.
well, you know, she's smiling, but she's got those sad eyes while she's smiling. I think it's a country song. But you know, let's see how this works. And that is with the +1, that is just a 7. So that is diversion. So I guess I picked 2.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, obviously, they're going to become confused or flustered. We're going to say flustered. Seems to be about the best. And that we're able to slip away.
All right, so narrate us this thing.
Is there a way to interject before we slip away?
This is the move, though.
That's what I'm asking.
That's a good question. I think he should resolve his move before we do another one, because if we have move that happens at the same time, but we can try interject something.
Well, why don't I explain what I had in mind? I'm sizing them up as they're circling us, right? They've got all that time to be taunting and trash talking. And Cadmus is an analyst, right? He's looking at everybody, and some of them have to be armed. I'm assuming. And if that were the case, then I think it's time for his unnatural movement to manifest. And the idea is, as we're running out, he would shift slightly out of phase and reach through their clothes and holster and take the weapon with them as he goes. That was what I had in mind.
Okay, so this is the part where we learn the game. So I would say this. I would let Ivan narrate his part, from the flashing of the clothes to the flustered face of the guys to the slip away. And while you guys are slipping away, I would say Anthony jump in and do his moves, and the flow of the narration goes that way. So go on, Ivan.
Okay, that's it. So yeah, so I flashed them, for lack of a better word. Say, hey, fellas, and instantly, you know, the guys that were about to grab Cadmus, the large transgendered individual, even the fellow at the counter, they all take that 1 second to stare, and you know, for a second, the animal part of their brain says, "My goodness, look at that," and that just gives us just that brief period of time where they're unable to move or unable to actually think. So I'm taking, and I'm well versed with well aware of the effect that my physique has on people that like female physiques. So at that time, I'm just almost like grabbing, you know, Cadmus, saying, "Let's go," and I start sprinting, definitely holding the bag of groceries, but she's taking off at quite the speed.
Right.
And perhaps the not taking the time to readjust her clothing, perhaps the sight of the bouncing and ziggling as we're heading towards the exit, as also anybody else that might have gotten in our way is also kind of frozen in place with that, like, man, could you believe that? Just, you know, for 1 second. And that's my narration of of creating that opportunity for escape.
Right.
So it's your moment, Anthony, to inject your move. You wanted to do the unnatural movement?
Yes, unnatural movement. I'm just not sure if that ties to anything. I'm not sure how the symptoms work. Hang on.
Well, the thing is, it's still going to be a risk, but you are able to do something about it, though. That's the thing, right? You are able to. You're able to go through surfaces, right? Through barriers.
Yep. Right.
So you go.
So
go ahead.
Yeah.
Working.
So he become, you know, intangible. He become out of phase, all crackling with energy, and then reach out and take what he wants, which is the weapon in the holster.
In the holster. There you go. So that's a risk, because you might not gonna achieve that.
Okay, gotcha.
But you can definitely just pass through, you know, and grab it, but it's still a risk. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I'll roll for the risk. I'm still mad. Yeah, still mad. Not powerful. Mad. And that's 10, 11.
So risk. So when you are aware of an act to avoid imminent danger, say how you do it and roll. You do as described in danger. Oh, but well, if you have 11, you narrate everything. Just narrate how you do it.
Okay. So Tess exposes herself, grabs for Cadmus to pull her along with him, but arcs of bright blue electricity have become streaming all across him, and her arm passes right through him. And he steps forward, reaching out toward one of these huge guys that's been encircling him because he's got this shoulder holster there. He sees a pistol and a brand that he likes, and he intersects with that man's body, passing through him, but taking the weapon with him and following after Tess at a run, forcing his way back to solidity, hoping that when he comes back into solid form again, he will still look like himself.
I will tell you what is the weapon you got.
Yep.
After the session when I'm looking the book and all that, but it's it's going to be a handgun type.
Yeah.
But the definition of it and the tags and all that, I will give it to you later. So you get yourself a new handgun that fits your holster.
Right.
All right. So as you guys leave, running out of the street, you hear some voices in the back.
Oh, hang on. I'm sorry to interrupt. I found the symptoms thing. I knew it was here somewhere. It's called trigger.
Oh, okay.
I have to roll, and then you have to make a choice. So it's called trigger.
Okay.
After from the disease manifests itself.
Yeah.
Plus symptoms. I have one symptom. On a 10 plus, you choose one from your symptoms and manifest themselves as well.
Where is it? I don't see it on your sheet. Oh, trigger! I got it.
Yeah, it's up at the top.
From a 10, on a 10 plus, the MC choose one of your symptoms, so I choose one.
And
because you get a 10 plus.
Yeah, and my symptoms manifest themselves. If on a 10 plus.
Yeah.
So on a
All right.
on a 9 and under, I guess nothing happens.
Yeah, there you go. So you have a tremendous pain in your chest. What?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, you get the trigger move and choose one more. After a gift from manifest, roll. Oh, you haven't rolled yet. Sorry.
I haven't rolled yet. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got
it. 6, 7, 8, 9, and plus symptoms. 1 is 10. Yeah. 10 plus.
Yeah. So you. So a symptom manifests plus one of these. That's what you're saying.
Plus one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your symptom is that your skin, your lips are becoming really dry, and even if you put some saliva on it or water on it, it's like they have like cracks in them, and it becomes like it starts to become red over it, and when you open the mouth, you feel the ear in the corner, right? It's really painful, and that's the pain hits.
And take one arm.
And you take one arm.
Right. All right.
But it's not a harm from the lips. It's harm.
Yeah, sure.
In your body, it's like the overall. You get some pain. It's like the contact with the bone and the tissue starts to.
Yeah.
Becoming really painful. All right. So as you guys move out of the place of the Sanguis thing, you guys start to get back into the giant crowd stream of people walking down the 122 Avenue, and then you eventually arrive at the Lothar spot, and the place has been ravaged. The tables have been flipped over. Some chairs have been broken. The food supply has been torn apart. And Lothar is, sitting in one corner, like coughing some blood. He's been beat up. His nose is broken. His eyes are swollen. And he's like, he's coughing in the corner. And I will stop this session right there.
We forgot his cigarettes.
All right. So the reason why I want to stop the session right there is because I want to have some cliffhanger, but I want to since it's the first one, I just I want to take some time discussing the beliefs and discussing some rules together, and so therefore it takes at least 30 minutes. Otherwise it would take 15.
Yeah.
But it would take 30, and we need to establish how we want to do it as well, since we never done it before. So that's the otherwise I would take 3 full hours, but now I would go for 2. All right.
Good plan.
So there is a few things we need to cover. So first off, here's some question I have for you guys. Every time, especially Tess, Ivan, you used scared a lot.
Right.
And you use sad a couple times. Did you mark the boxes? Because you're gonna have a pike move eventually with the alleviate situation and stuff. Especially you, because you've been using the same all over again. So these are stacking up, and eventually it will lead you to that. So make sure you've wrote them out. I just want to make sure about that. Then you asked Ivan if you had an experience point since you had a loss. You have a total failure in the
first session.
Yeah. So give it yourself one. We never
just landed on my back. Yeah.
So you landed on your back and stuff. Yeah. So give yourself 1 XP for that.
All right.
And then Anthony, did you add 1 total failure this session? I think I remember one
right at the beginning.
You did
with analyze.
So you lost your gun there. Yeah. Won't happen again. Give yourself some XP.
And I had at least, and there was another one, but anyway, 1.
Yeah, there's another one. If there's another one, give yourself a 2nd XP. I don't remember it, but probably.
We can check.
Oh, I think you had another one when you tried the ultimatum. No, the ultimatum you get a 7-9. Yeah.
Yeah, the ultimatum.
But remember, if you have it, I trust you guys. Just give yourself the XP. But now we need to cover the beliefs. So we'll start with Ivan. Just read out your belief, and as a group, we will vote if you push the story forward, making good use of that belief narratively.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I think I had. Let me just double check here. I think there's 3 different ways you can score the beliefs.
Are you sure? I think it's like if you push the story forward and.
Let me just because I was reading it this morning to make sure I had the right idea with it. Let me just look up here in the it's 269. So it says if you believe a belief was tested or challenged, you get 1 XP.
Yeah.
When a belief gets you into trouble, you get 2 XP.
And 1 is resolved.
When if a belief gets resolved, it's 3. Yeah. So let me take a look.
Yeah.
So my first belief was the quality of humanity is not limited to those who are biologically human. Therefore, I am just as human as anyone else and have free will. Despite being an illegal construct, I will use whatever means at my disposal to do so. That was the first one.
All right, now you see. Do you see how long that belief is and how hard now it is for us to understand and try to figure out how that happened in the game? Do you get it? Do you get it?
That first sentence.
You know what I'm saying? It's really hard. Now I have to think. I'm like, when that paragraph happened, right?
The quality of humanity.
So this is what I meant.
To organics.
This is what I meant. And also,
I thought my short beliefs were bad. Now my long beliefs are bad, man. I can't win.
Well, tell me, what do you think? Tell us, how do you think that happened?
I don't know. I don't believe that I really tested that belief at all this game. That particular one, I don't think she really engaged in this particular.
It's interesting because I think that belief has been resolved. You see? Because and this is why we take the time today, because when he told you you're a robot, you don't so it's up to you now. Do you so here's the game. If you think that Tess now knows she's not human and agrees with what Cadmus said, you get 3 XP and you change that belief. You need a new one now.
Right, I gotcha.
If you don't believe that Cadmus convinced her, because it's your character, and you still want her to be in that Luby or imagination, she thinks she's human, then we didn't test it because we didn't roll the dice, but we but we tested it. At least you get 1 XP. We engaged it narratively.
We engaged it.
Yeah. We did 1 XP, but it was not no trouble for you.
Right. I'm guessing. Well, Anthony, what's your perspective on the test, that belief?
Your first reaction as Tess was, if other people can see that I am not human, I have to learn how to hide it.
Right.
Yeah.
Not, I think I'm human. What is, this guy's insane, or he's got bad cyberware or something. It was, how do I hide it? So I would say that she knows. She knows.
So you get 3 XP. You erase that belief, and you need to think about another one for next session.
Okay, now that makes sense. I would say though,
but do you understand how the narrative goes now?
Right.
Now that belief is done. Now you get full experience, but your story is not about her trying to figure out how she is human or not. It's already over. We move. We keep going.
Yeah. The only thing I would say about the beliefs in general is, it's, as far as I can read, as we're challenging them or tested or resolving them, I believe that seems to be all entirely divorced from mechanics. Like there's no real mechanics doing that. It's the actual role play.
In this game, yes.
Right.
But in Burning Wheel, sometimes what makes it works is if we roll the dice for it.
Right.
But this game doesn't seem like it. No. You're right.
Okay. Well, then I will mark that one as done. Second one. The second one is, considering my illegal nature and the expense needed to promote a biomechanical entity, such as myself, it stands to reason that I was created for a specific purpose. Given my inherent knowledge of service to humans in many ways, I suspect that I may have been created to serve humanity in some way. But so far, much of what I've observed of the behavior of biological humans disturbs me. I will observe and interact with humanity to determine if they are deserving of my service, or if I should focus my efforts elsewhere.
All right, man. So that is really
man.
This is really long, so it's really hard. But I remember I was trying to challenge that when I forced you, like, just for you to know how I did it as a GM. When I said you have a pulsion telling you to grab his hand and put it on your tie, I wanted to challenge your free will that you're calling and see, like, is she gonna say no? If she's not gonna do it, but you did it. And every time someone has been asking you something, you never challenged it. You always say, yes, I will grab the smoke for you. Yes, I will grab the food for you. Yes, I will put my hand there. Yes, I will flash my boobs. Yes. So nobody
asked me to do that.
Yeah, so I don't see a lot of free will, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? So because the thing with the boobs is that you're a prostitute replicant kind of guy, right? Your female character is for sex, has been programmed.
Well, we have no idea what she's really for. She just seems to know how to do that.
Yeah, you're right. So she seems to know how to do that, and she's been doing it, compulsively so far. So
6 months.
Yeah.
This belief really didn't contain any kind of free will in it.
That's interesting.
My intent for this belief was really just to see, am I really created to serve people, or are they even worth serving? That to me was more the crux of that belief.
Yeah. So that's kind of like yeah. So that's
that's like a bookend to this session. You started with, hey, look at this Cadmus guy, help him out, and
that's
then at the end, she was like, she had her feeling of sadness because they're not more sad.
Listen. If you want, you have the choice. I would say, because to me this belief is so wide open and so long that I can't really figure out how it happened this session. So what I would say is either you accomplish it and they don't deserve help, right? So they don't deserve help, or you can have a test for it, 1 XP, because it's been challenged though. Because the scene where you take the boobs out and you say, I'm sad, because you gave a great narration of like, I'm sad because they do that to each other, so they might not deserve it. You're still open though. You seems to still be like, they might not be worth it.
Right.
So if you're not sure, you leave the belief there, or you make it simpler for next session and you get 1 XP.
Yeah, I would say that's fair.
Or you take the decision. You say, I get the 3 and fuck them humans.
No, I think the jury's still out with her. She feels like that Cadmus is worth helping, although she's not really sure why. She has pity for him, but the more she looks at this, I mean, and she really at this point, just walking in and seeing Sam all beat up in the bar. I mean, my intent was, if the scene went on, for her to run up to him and say, "Are you okay, honey?" But the vast majority of people she's watching go by, she's wondering, well, how many of them are really worth?
Yeah. So that's good. That's 1. I would say 1 XP for that.
Yeah. And the last sucker, hopefully, is smaller. I believe Cadmus can assist me in determining my true nature and who created me. I need to have him in my debt. Therefore, I will do what I can have to do to have him obligated to me.
Wow.
But so far, it's the other way.
It's gone the other way.
It's gone the other way.
But no. I know I don't. That's not the way. Maybe my English is bad, but I think it's the other way, because so Cadmus asked for your help, and that's what you wanted, isn't it?
Right. I mean, it's getting. Yeah. I think my intent was like,
because you said I want to. Go ahead.
Right. Tess is sizing him up, and she realizes this guy watches everybody. He probably is really good at finding things out. I want to find out my true nature. He might be the kind of guy that can help me. But in the meantime, all of a sudden I'm being suckered into. I feel bad for him.
Oh, you're right.
She feels bad for me.
So. You're right. So you got nothing. You got nothing for this one. You got nothing for
right. But we're so I'm still working that one.
yeah. It's okay. So I got it. So yeah, fine, nice. So Anthony, what's up with you?
Okay, so the first belief was, and it came out directly in the session when he kind of reveals his nature to Tess. There must be others like me. I can find the cause if I can locate enough victims. That's the first belief.
Yeah. So you challenged that. We got that. So the 1, you get it. But do you? It's not
resolved.
No,
It's just beginning.
But it put you in trouble though.
It did put me in trouble.
It did put you in trouble because you now you have 1 week to live. Because this, by the way, this is my GM move. So
ooh, nasty.
Yeah. So when Ivan said, "Do you believe it's really 1 week?" I'm telling you, as rule as written, it's 1 week. You die in 7 days. Because it's my GM move. It's reveal an unwilling truth or unworthy truth or something like that. Reveal a truth that is really bad. that's my move.
I thought Francois was a killer DM, but man, you are the killer GM of all killer GMs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm a killer. I will break your weapons. I will steal your weapon, and I will tell you die. So that's for sure.
But for sure. I'm gonna interject a but, because there's a section in the dying about dying.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So it's called prognosis. It's in the middle column.
Yep.
And we have to work out a timeline, or the player works out a timeline. Your timeline can be decided in multiple ways. As your timeline proceeds, you get more and more symptoms, etc. Your disease will kill you if the following things happen. Could be random, could be on a set timeline, or it could be whenever fictional circumstances come into play, as well as at the start or end of session. So,
I think that work with the MC to develop a set of circumstances that cause the disease to progress is what I did today by telling you that you die in 7 days.
7 days.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll need to figure out a way to get at least 6 sessions into 7 days.
Yeah. Sure.
We can
So
do that.
it means that it's gonna be real time. That's what I just did as an MC move. It's a real time campaign in 9 sessions.
Cool. I like it.
That's what I did. This is the move. I took agency over the narrative. I said, you die in 7 days.
Sure.
And the day is not over yet. The day is not over yet, right?
That's right. The day's not over yet.
There you go.
Okay.
So next one.
All right. The next one is about good and evil. Choosing to be good. Good people help others. Evil ones harm. I reject harm and choose to help.
Yeah. Me personally, when you got mad and decide to steal the gun from another guy, I don't think you've been doing good.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So I don't.
That's why he has this belief. He's trying.
Yeah, he's trying. So he gets no XP for trying.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. That's how I see it.
He sold out to the companies, right? He sold out. He took these eyes, took these ears. You know, they can spy on him whenever he wants, etc., etc. He's now that he's dying, he wants to reform. He did not reform today.
He did not reform. Yeah, well.
The next one. Too much of life is a comforting illusion.
I see now. I see what you did.
I challenge truth. Recognition of truth.
Yeah. There you go. That's why you were so hasty to tell her she's not human. Yeah. Stop lying to yourself.
Yeah. Stop lying to yourself.
So I would say 1 XP. What do you think, Ivan, about that?
Oh man. I don't know. I don't know if I would just give it 1. I mean, that might be.
It's not over.
I think. Okay. Not over. So yeah.
Because it's not resolved. I mean, you don't resolve that kind of belief. I mean, the belief is not resolvable. It's a philosophical belief about telling people the truth. How do you want to resolve that? So it's not going to give you 3.
I'll give you the thought I had about how it would be resolved, right? Because I wrote the first truth in all capital letters with quotation marks. Truth, your illusionary truth with the real truth.
The God truth and the apparatus truth.
The veiled truth, the apparatus truth, all this bullshit that we tell each other. Cadmus tells truth to power.
Yeah.
Right.
So
he's in your face.
So I personally, the way it's written now, it's to me, the way I see it is that it's not resolvable because there's always a new truth.
Well, hang on. The idea is that to resolve it, he'd have to, in a sense, find some compassion for other people. He's trying to change his own life. He's not a good man, trying to become one. Now, why would he tell this machine who's trying so hard?
Yeah, but the thing though, the way I get the rules is that to resolve it, you need to erase it after, and you can never use it again.
Right.
So that's if it's what you want from today's session.
No, what I'm saying is to resolve it, he needs to find a way to not shatter people's illusions.
I don't understand. Like just not saying it whenever it's time to say it.
Yeah, like for right.
I see.
Right, so when he meets Yorn, who's talking about the power of the veil and my holy bong smoke, there's going to be some sparks, right? But if he can learn to live and let live.
Resolve. I see. I got it. Yeah, complete. Yeah, that's perfect.
That's what this is about.
Yeah, I got it. Now I got it.
So challenged or it was engaged. Yes, but
Yes.
it- yeah.
So you get one. So you get 1 XP for it.
Okay.
What do you think, Ivan? Do you think it's worthy the challenge XP?
Yeah. I'm just wondering if it got him into trouble this session. But I think he was probably getting into cahoots with Tess anyway. If somehow using that belief actually cemented his relationship with Tess, and I would say it got him into trouble because she seems to be trouble. But,
no. To me, well, the way I get it, well, I understand what you're saying, but to me, the way I get it is that to put yourself in trouble for your belief is that
Right.
you push the belief forward and shit happens.
Right.
Now,
Yeah, I get it.
if I'd walked up to the unanimous guys and said, "You guys are a bunch of punks,"
Yeah, there you go. Or
Exactly.
if you or as a player, what you could have done, Ivan, is flip the table, grab that Cadmus, put him on the ground, say, "I am human, you motherfucker," and now you give him
yeah.
Right.
You give him
Right.
by doing that. There you go.
I might have.
What about the with the guns at the end? You know, look, it's very simple. You will sell to me, or I will turn you in.
Right.
You're a criminal educate, but
Oh
that
yeah,
also
you're
leads to
right. You're right. That you gave the ultimatum. That I forgot about this one. What do you think, Ivan? Do you think he deserved 2 XP for that one?
Yeah,
Because
I
he
would
said
say
he-
so. I was trying to remember, but yeah, he's kind of like
There you go.
does he speak without think?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah. You've been bold. It's a bold. I am. A good way to write that belief is I am bold as fuck. I should stop being that bold. That is a simple belief that we understand how to give XP. I am bold as fuck. I will tell the truth, bunch of motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I need to shut up.
Yeah, you're gonna.
Right?
There's various people out there that make a living or make money through gaming, and I think your niche is going to be, hey, could you write this belief for me? And then you just come back. That'll be $20. $20.
I am
please.
bold. I need to shut the fuck up. That's a perfect way.
well, how about this then? Be kind. Rewind.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we cover them all the beliefs.
Those are my 3 beliefs. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So now I need some feedback from the GMing and the way I do things. What can I do to improve the dynamic? Or there is one thing I want to say though. I'm really sorry for that. It's Ivan, when because Cadmus said, "Is there food in your establishment?"
Oh yeah.
And you say, "Oh yeah, there is food," and I'm like, "No, that's not a tavern. It's a nightclub. You know, it's not a bar. It's a nightclub. There's no food in the nightclub." So I just wanted to establish that the Bells is not a place you go to eat like a tavern in a cyberpunk setting, right?
I already changed the story in my head to there's potato chips. He's got one of those little things you put a cred in and you get like a little stupid bag of potato chips. So yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm sorry because I jumped on you right away and I usually don't do that, but I wanted to make sure that it's not the same kind of place.
Right.
Because I think there's a huge difference, because it's easy to turn the Bells into a tavern, and I didn't want to go into the cliche of the fantasy tavern, meet at the tavern. Right. Of course, I didn't want to do that.
I made one and you burned it down. That was just great. I made the.
So otherwise, what do you guys think about the way we do things? Me, I will start. I will give you some impression. The first thing I noticed is that this game is easy to name the procedure and then do it. So it's like I will do a link move because and Anthony, by the way, you didn't have time to do your link move. So
I tried.
I think you tried with your colleague, isn't it?
Yeah, I tried with the colleague, and then I was going to when we were going to go to the black market, but Ivan beat me to it there as well. So
no problem. So next session, I guess. Yeah. But anyway, so there's a tendency to and it's not easy because this is the way the game is built, but it takes time. And I think it's like, be aware we might need a methodology. Like instead of naming the move and then naming the emotion, we should try to enact it until me as the GM, I should try to be attentive to say like, okay, so now you're doing this.
Yeah, you're supposed to interrupt, I think.
Right. That's
So
that's how it's really supposed to happen. The only
Yeah.
reason I was doing that is I figured we're so new at this that I was going to kind of announce like, here's what I'm doing. I want to evoke
but we should work. I think we should work toward reaching that over time, right? 2,
Absolutely.
3, 4 sessions.
So,
it's long. It's gonna take some time.
what I tried was to justify, like to let you into Cadmus's head a little bit, right? So I'm noticing that I'm seeing patterns in things. That's your hint that I'm looking at pattern recognition.
Yeah, I've
And
noticed
then
that.
I describe what it was, what pattern I'm looking at. That's the cue for analyze, and then ask the question.
Yeah,
and then
that's right. That's right. And then and you know what is nice is that the GM in this game, the MC, is really a MC because you narrate cool stuff in a poetic matter, in an emotional matter, and you get involved into your states, your emotions. And then I say, that's analyze, and I bring the cold words like analyze, and that is sad. Roll, please, right? And then now we get the structure. We roll the dice, we do the thing, and then you narrate or I narrate, right?
That requires, I mean, I can see right off the bat that, I mean, thank God they made this sheet for all the moves.
Oh yeah.
And of course, each playbook has moves. So really, I can see as an MC, you're going to have all that stuff right in front of you and constantly be thinking, like looking. Like, well, I think he's analyzing right there or whatever. But you have to kind of be on your toes.
Yeah, but thank God, there's not a lot of them. So it's kind of easy. I mean, and they're really, really, they're well made. I think they cover a lot of range. One thing I want to come back on to is, Anthony, you said I want to use my power to grab the gun while I leave, right?
Yeah, I was curious about that.
Yeah, because for me, that was a risk. And the reason why it was a risk, because it could have, since you can go through matter, right? Can go through barriers.
Yeah.
It would have been easy to say, oh, you grab a gun and you're out. I could have done it that way, but I didn't want it to because because that would have mean that the negative consequence, my MC move of stealing the gun from you, was too easy to get out of the narrative. So I need you to get a risk for it. The reason why I allowed that risk, because if you have said, let's say you have no power, and you say, I want to steal someone's gun while I'm running away.
Right.
I'm not sure. I think, that's a risk. But I mean, that's badass. I mean, it's hardcore because the thing is that there was the move of because look, what is the difference between I'm gonna steal that gun while I'm running and I have no power,
right,
and then rolling a risk. No negative modifiers whatsoever, whatever. I'm just gonna steal it and run away as I run away. Or I steal it because I can just put my hand like that, grab it from under your coat and your holster and all that. And for some reason, the gun goes through everything with my hand, right? Yeah. And all that. And then you have to roll the abyss stairs back. Is it that? With the trigger. No, the trigger. You need to roll the trigger, and now you are in pain. You know what I'm saying? Now, because you use your power, you are more fucked up than if you just have tried to steal it, because I made you roll the same thing. So that's a concern for me.
So so what was going on for me is I knew there was a roll somewhere, and I'm looking right at it, but I couldn't see it. You know, I was looking at the gift part. I was looking at the actual power and expecting to find some kind of, roll this or apply that, or the MC decides this or that, but it wasn't there. It was on the other side of the page for trigger. So what I suspect we're supposed to do is use
the power
trigger, and the consequence
is the trigger. No risk.
Is the consequence.
Yeah, no risk.
Without using risk.
Yeah, but, there you go. You're right. You're right.
Normally, I think this power was meant, like I walk through a door, and so I bypass security and I walk through the door, and wow, that was too easy. Well, I suffer some kind of symptom, but I used it in a very unusual way. So I was quite satisfied that you applied risk to it. Is
Right
he
on.
still here?
Oh,
Yeah.
there he goes.
I completely understand. I think personally, I would not have rolled the risk because I see the negative of the trigger is crazy. So later on, I will know it's either you risk or you trigger. To me. Yeah, I don't mind the gun going through the clothes and all that. This minutia, I don't care. But the it's either you use your power and you get the symptoms, or you do the risk. And since I didn't know about the trigger, I didn't know your character so well, so I didn't know about the trigger. That's why I asked the risk. All right, so now we learned again.
It's pretty nasty. Using the power can be pretty devastating.
Oh, it's really
I think it's true. Just looking at how that can be confusing, it's kind of an extension of how confusing something like combat can be, like neutralize or duel, because it's not what you would normally think of as how a combat sequence would happen, where this person attacks and that person attacks. It's assumed that everything's happening at once, and depending on the success of your roll, it may work for you in your advantage or not in your advantage, and you have to spend your hold. Did I hurt him more? Or did I not get hurt at all? Was it a neutralized move? Was it a dual move? So I think it would take a second to get really good at that. But the first time you look at it, you're like, my God, how does this work? So I think that's kind of.
Is there so I think you guys think that I am the eco?
When I turn your mic off, it goes away. Like I will talk and I keep talking, and now the echo's gone. I don't know if it's some kind of feedback loop that's happening between you and I for some reason. I know I only have this window open. I'm not sure if you've got anything else that might be causing a feedback loop.
No, man, I have nothing. I have nothing, and I have earbuds. Yeah. All right. Okay. So we'll know. We know now. Now I'm really sorry for the chat thing, because since I am, it takes a lot of cognitive energy for me to GM in English. Like it takes a shitload of energy. So when I see a chat pop up, it takes me away completely, and the typing is super annoying. And so this might be a pet peeve of mine. I'm sorry, but it's really hard for me to get focused when that happens.
I think that was actually my fault. I think that sound wasn't typing. I think that was one of my dogs eating a metal dish. So
yeah,
maybe I kind of
no problem. Anyway, but yeah, so when I saw the thing pop, I'm like, oh man, I cannot play with pop-up stuff. I mean, because I would not even be able, even if I'm a player, I would not be able to chat with you guys and stay in the game. Like it's way too much. I'm not multitasking that level. Role playing.
It's good to just be able to say it.
Right.
Yeah.
You have no idea how much energy it takes me to game master in my only language.
Yeah, maybe. I know. So otherwise, is there anything I can do better for you guys as an MC? Something that you don't like and you'd rather me to do differently?
I had one question. When you're setting the scene, it seems to be written into the Powered by the Apocalypse games that we should just interrupt or interject.
Yeah.
Which seems a little rude, because there might be something that you're working toward. Like the opening description was all the way around the intersection.
Yeah.
Right. So I wanted to hear that whole thing. I wanted to have, like, my character's been standing there for 16 hours. I want to know what the MC thinks is there before I contribute to what I think is there. I wanted to hear the whole thing.
Yeah.
But there were other periods where I wanted to interrupt and say, "Whoa, that thing that you just said is important to me."
Yeah, go ahead. Anytime.
Just.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Anytime. Interrupt me anytime. I interrupt all the time myself, so do it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Right on. I mean, and I've definitely found that, like, I don't like all game masters' narration of lots of details. Some of them drive me out of my mind. But you always seem to set them up so it's very, it's very concrete. It's very obvious what's going on. So, or sets the tone pretty well. So I'll jump in. I think there's probably two things I thought of. I found out what my answer, my birth question was. Does anyone aware that I'm operational now?
God,
Well, it's okay because I'll tell you what, Cadmus is certainly aware. I'm operational, if nothing else. You know, I think.
Yeah, I completely forgot. I need to. Oh, that's you.
Yeah,
I
well,
think. Thank God. Yeah.
That's a tough one to figure out. Like if you're going to narrate it later, how are you going to do that?
Yeah. What?
Oh, sorry.
What
Because
is the question?
The question is anyone aware that I am operational now?
Oh well,
Yeah.
Cadmus answered it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got lucky. You got lucky.
Yeah. To me, that's a really interesting question for that character.
Yeah.
Because more than likely, you know, metagamey, somebody did create her for a reason. She's probably planted here to do something. What is it?
Yeah.
And you know, one of the tags I put on her cybernetics was, I think it was her she's contingency driven. So in other words, my idea was there's probably a set of circumstances that when they show up, she's going to do something without free will.
There you go.
And
this is exactly what I was trying to do when Sam told you this is a client.
Right.
And put your hand, put his hand on your tie and shit. You know that this is what I was aiming at. Yeah.
Right. And my I don't want because the apparatus is so amorphous. Like, you know, it's kind of gets collaboratively made, you know, through those questions.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't want to say, well, these contingencies might be much more sinister. In other words, it's not just that, like, if guys come on to her that she responds in kind. It could be that there's some other contingency that when it shows up, she's going to do something really bizarre, or, you know, assassinate the president, or God knows what it is, you know.
Well, you flashed your boobs.
Yeah, exactly.
Mass destruction.
with tears falling off your eyes.
Right.
Because
the
thing, and I know I've been on like every time we roll the dice, I was like, what's the emotion? Like, narrate that emotion, because this game, that's the only reason why I play it. Because there's so many good, you know, cyberpunk games. I mean, this one is not. I don't play it for powered by the apocalypse. I play it for the emotion-based mechanic. Yeah. That's the idea. It's like we have an emotion wheel right here, and it's like, come on now, what's up with that? Like, how much emotional you can get into your description and narration, and to justify that +1 or justify that +2. So I don't want to be talking about necessarily personally. I don't know. I haven't been on the player seat yet, but trying to not justify, just makes sense by explaining narratively. You know, like you guys did twice at least really remarkably. Like Anthony, when he was describing how it feels to be dying, or when he described how he had enough. I'm tired of you guys, bullshit bunch of motherfuckers. And when Ivan you know, said, when he flashed the boobs and he explained how he was sad, I mean, it was an obvious sadness. We understand that sadness. Like, you guys are just stupid. Stop going against each other, right? So
we should use the wheel, though. I think.
Yeah, the wheel is really nice.
Rather than mad, peaceful, sad, joyful, scared, and powerful, I think we need to be open to the idea of using other terms. But
yeah, like for example, it was a mix. Like the way when Ivan, you flashed the boobs, the way I got it personally, it was like ashamed and depressed and bored at the same time. Like, humanity is so simple and stupid that it makes me ashamed and depressed, and I lose hope in all y'all.
Right.
So therefore, I'm gonna do the best thing I know to make you look stupid. I'm gonna show you my boobs. You're gonna be so flustered, right? So yeah, that was nice.
There's one thing that that I guess we also need to work out with the dying before we go. So the dying is on a timeline. And as we go through the timeline, the symptoms increase.
Yeah.
Which basically means every time we play, I get another symptom. And some of these symptoms I like, but I think
Where are
there will
they?
be time.
Are they on your
They're
sheet?
yeah, it's right on the sheet. So the first symptom I chose was there's a noticeable change to your dermis, right, to your skin, and I didn't want to do something like some kind of flaky skin disease or whatever. I wanted to do that every time a symptom manifests is because he passed through a barrier. When he came through the other side, he wasn't always himself.
Oh, that's why you said you didn't want the leper type of thing with the cracking lips and all that. Okay, I see.
So I'm still fine with that because he used it in this unusual way, right? But like he's got all these photographs. Every day he takes a picture of himself. And when he's talking with Tess,
Okay,
he's thinking,
okay.
Is it just the appearance which has changed? Right, because I'm moving toward the next symptom. It's replacing and or erasing your memories.
Oh, you have an order.
In my head, I've kind of got an order.
Oh, well, let me know. Let me know that order. I need to know that. Okay, so let me know. The first one, I'm going to take...
Well, I want to decide based on play, but those two stuck out because they seemed related. So the first one was today. There's a noticeable change to your dermis.
Well, I know. Your character is changing so much that it might not be the same after a couple sessions. Now
Right.
I see where you want to go with this. So what I would like to do, maybe we can change. We can change the thing. So forget about the because that's the only way the doctor recognized it. It's the injury under the hair.
Yeah, I think that's how it would start.
Okay.
Little patches, but but he works as a security guard under all this body armor. He works 16 hours a day, blah, blah, blah. He didn't notice.
Okay.
And he lost weight and he, then one day he looked in the mirror and it's like, who's that?
There you go. I see. Okay, so maybe it was in your back or here, it didn't notice. Yeah. And it's okay. So, but for now on, what I would do is that you change, right? Like you said. So the lips are not cracking and they're not red and all that, and they're not painful. The pain is under your skin. So the harm you got is a flesh pain because it's a flesh disease. But the change you have is that you used to add, let's say, thin lips.
Right.
Now you have bubbly lips. I don't know how you guys call. Yeah, good kisser lips. Yeah. Good. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? So when you looks different, and when he speaks, so it doesn't move the same way.
Right. Everything's changing. Yeah. So I don't have a whole lot of interest in doing you grow additional and new limbs, stuff like that. So there will be some I think that I'll invent. There's a blank at the bottom for filling in your own.
So, okay, cool. So look, we have enough time for the 1 and 2 to have fun with. So I would say that a third one, to make it easy, just 3 stages, whatever, and just let us know when you're done thinking about the third one.
Yeah.
All right. So anything else you wanna share with me about the session? Personally, I had fun. I like the way the role play went and the interaction with the NPCs.
Yeah, I liked it.
Even the mechanic today never seemed heavy because there's not a lot of repetitive dice roll in this game, so it's really light anyway. So it could be like that, and I had fun still, right?
Yeah. Occasionally, I think there was 1 or 2 scenes where I felt like you went Raymond Chandler a little bit too fast. Like, in other words, the guys burst into the room like during a role play scene, and I've had that problem myself as a game master, where like when the players are role playing, when they're having that moment, it's always hard to figure out when do I have the thing happen, the next thing happens, so they're not talking anymore. When do I interrupt? And it was really minor. I wouldn't say it upset me. I was just like, oh man, I wish I had a chance to say like one more thing and have Cadmus and Tess interact for just a couple more, for 30 more seconds or something before the guys came over the guns.
On my side though, I like that. I like that sense of I didn't get to do it this time, so next time we play, I'm going to have to manufacture that scene again, just like in real life where you're about to ask the girl out. And
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
well, maybe tomorrow.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, because sometimes, but at the same time, you did exactly what you need. I don't care. You said I don't notice them. I'm just keep on talking, and you kept on talking.
Right. No, that was
That's
cool. Like
perfect.
I said, that's always really hard to figure out how to figure out when the hell to do that.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
That's an art form.
The weird thing for me was introducing the character at the beginning. I wish I had that to do over again. I would have actually introduced it for other people. I just communicated the raw information that the game master should know, and then I was busily imagining the scene in my own head. And as soon as I was done and Ivan was speaking, I was like, "Oh no, that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. I have to paint a more cinematic picture about who this guy is and what he looks like and stuff." So I was remembering how you introduced Yorn, from the boots to the top of his head, and I really should have spent time talking about his fashion and the very particular way he's doing that. So
yeah, because he has a particular way of looking your character, and Tess as well. Like right now, honestly, right now, I have no idea both of your character what look like. As a GM, I don't know what they look like. I've seen the picture in the group page, but
Right.
I mean, today, from what you guys said, no clue what they look like. I don't know Tess's colors, hair. I don't know the way she dressed. I don't know. I don't know. Is she tall? Is she small? Is she fatty? If she's skinny? Does she have tattoo? I don't know. Same thing with Anthony. I just said that you had thin lips, and now you have bubble lips. Like I mean,
full lips. Yeah.
That's funny. My girlfriend said the same thing. She asked me, like, what does this character look like? And I told her, but that still doesn't tell me what she looks like. And to me, Tess is one of those characters. I almost don't want to give too much information. Like, she's athletic. She's athletic and voluptuous, and generally has dark hair, but she's that kind of woman that instantly turns a man's head. What that looks like to you, fill in the blanks. I mean, for all I know, she's using the veil to augment exactly what that is to make it look a little bit better to each man that walks by.
Right. I see that. No, that's interesting. So that's cool because it means that she.
But if you touch her, it matches up pretty damn well.
And
she is spectacular.
For Cadmus, I mean, the reason why he dresses in vests and ties and kind of this retro dated, like neo-Victorian look is because the clothes make the man. People will remember the clothes. He wears the hat low because he may not look the same tomorrow. He has no idea. He shows up to work with the dark shades and the security helmet on, and no one really notices that he's not the same guy who worked there last week, and that kind of thing. So, but I should have spent time on the fashion.
Yeah, well, the other way around. We stated that you live in the bourgeoisie first level, right?
Right.
So you either you live on the 4th or the 3rd. So the 3rd is the last sprawl level, and the 4th is the other one. But I don't remember, so I just stated that you.
I think we said it was a 4. It was
a
4.
So you're a 4th guy. So maybe that's the fashion in the bourgeoisie as well, because
maybe
in the sprawl, they look wearing rags and shit.
I keep on seeing a skinny Columbo. That's how I'm envisioning Cadmus all the time. Is dressed like Columbo but skinny.
Kind of,
or maybe a little bit more hat over the eyes.
The inspiration for me was actually the spaghetti westerns, the Eastwood spaghetti westerns. The poncho, the hat, and too tight. Everything's too tight, and it looks like it's been taken in to be that tight. Like it's unnaturally tight because he's wasting away.
Right.
And apparently he's going to be dead in a week.
Yeah, 7 days. And thank you, Ivan, for letting me know that. I think that's what we're missing from our conversation. But when there is no consequence on the sheet, it's because I have to do an MC move.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the reason. I completely forgot about that. So when I start doing move, and me, listen, I am by the rules. So I have a list here on the sheet. Make your move. And all the moves I did today are part of that list. So I inflict harm, but that was on another list. I reveal an unwelcome truth. 7 days, and I take away something of theirs, you're gone.
Right.
That's it. So I'm just taking one of them, and I usually go random but I try to make it fit the most, with the narrative.
Listen,
So
Vince Baker didn't make that stuff up. He just listed all the stuff we used to do anyway. As far as all the GM moves.
Yeah, definitely.
Best
So
practices.
but now,
Yeah, those are best
now
practices,
they are kind of principles that you use to, But it's so I do it, and now I have, since it's written and it's clear, it's like it's a rule. So 7 days gotta stay. I mean, you cannot change it. And the gun, to get the gun back, there's a price for it because
I paid for it.
Yeah, well, you paid for it. Now your lips are not the same, and you have one arm.
And I got to go shopping in a different place. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Sanguis is not your friend anymore.
Well, at least not that freaking holdout. Oh God, what a pain in the ass this guy Cadmus has turned out to be.
You're welcome.
So before we get going, I got to go to work and all that. I just wanna say, so Anthony, I will get back at you with a gun before next session.
Right on.
Please try to send me on the group page your new beliefs for those who have new beliefs to write before next session. So get my mind thinking about stuff and embodied them. And the last thing is, in 2 weeks. But in 2 weeks is Christmas time. Any particular? Do we set a date right now? Can we set a date right now? I'm really busy nowadays.
I can't. Set a date.
You can't.
Cannot.
You cannot. Okay, because of the dog, right? I know. Yeah. Because they are a problem nowadays and all that. Okay, so you'd rather. So what I do is I just go in 2 weeks, and I ask away, and we'll get from there.
Okay, and then are you running it again in 2 weeks, or are we rotating, or what is our plan?
No,
we're on a cliffhanger. Okay, we're on a cliffhanger. Okay.
3 in a row, right?
Okay, I got you.
Because I get to die.
It depends. Do you guys want to rotate though? Because the cliffhanger, I don't have to do it. I have nothing planned. Nothing. I just want to let you know. The only thing that was planned today was there was a riot in front of you.
Right.
That's the only thing. The rest is just improv over improv. So I don't care for the cliffhanger. It can be Anthony. It can be you. I don't mind. Do you guys want to rotate GM or 3 in a row each?
I was thinking 3 in a row because if to make the death of Cadmus have any point,
right,
I should go last.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah. But at the same time, he doesn't have to die because this 9 session can't happen over 1 day. So
if he doesn't, then I could be playing any playbook.
Right.
There you go. That's a really good answer. So okay, I'm gonna do 3 in a row. Then Ivan. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let's talk on the group. Any last words, fellas?
Well, like
thank
we
you
used
for
to
running
say.
the game.
Oh, thank you. And like we used to say in
and being so
Dungeons and Dragons.
Sorry.
If he dies, he dies. That's normal.
Right on. Okay.
Right. Well, thanks for being patient with my accent, and I'll try to get the. You know what? I'm gonna try to make more English videos, get my English going in the next couple of days.
Right on. All right. Awesome.
Talk to you guys later.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thanks a lot for running.
Okay.